I think I did it. What's up, everyone? Welcome to week 90, whatever is it, week 96? Am I here? Can anyone hear me? I've got a hand up.
Yes, you're
Say
here.
something.
You're
Am
good
I
to go.
here?
We can hear you, Bobby.
Well, then let's start recording. Let's begin this adventurous call. Record to the cloud.
Recording in progress.
There it goes. Okay, what's up, everybody? Bobby Gray here. I guess it's week 96. I don't know. I've been traveling for a while now. It's easy to lose track of time when you're on the road. I've got a fancy new laptop here that I don't fully know how to use just yet. And maybe it's week 96. I think it's week 96. Welcome to week 96. I am joining you live. It is officially 1:04 a.m. here in Berlin, Germany. In the matter of interest and transparency, the way that you can know for sure that I am actually in Berlin is that I've got a pretzel. And these are wonderful out here in this part of the world. I cannot get enough pretzels live here in Germany. So thanks for joining me. I've been here almost a week now, which means I'm officially and completely over jet lag, and that means that it is really 1 a.m. It's not like I just got here and it's 6 p.m. in local time. It's 1 o'clock. And I'm wearing a sweater, which is not my normal attire, and I'm not in the studio. So thanks for putting up with me. And I wouldn't miss a Tuesday night for the world if I could absolutely help it. Last time I was late for this call, I was going into surgery or just finished surgery. I don't remember. It was a mess. But I'm here joining you, of course, because this is our opportunity to connect, to talk, to cry on each other's shoulders, to hug it out, whatever we have to do to keep this project moving forward at full speed ahead. So thanks for being here. 500, 623, 625 of us. Great job, everyone. Thank you so much. Joined tonight by Tim, Gage, Robbie Rue. You guys were all ready to spring into action and cover for me in case I was a no-show after all. I have foiled your plot and I am here. I think our
All my
friend
training notes.
Ricardo
I
is
had
here as
I had
well.
all the
He's
notes prepared, man. I was ready. Put me in, coach. I got it.
we got this. Well, there may be an opportunity for you to jump in and say something great at some point. Let me turn my volume up a little bit. Ricardo's out there as well. I'm gonna promote Ricardo over to a panelist if he wants to come in and say hello because he's somewhere else in this hotel. So I'm here in Berlin. We've got Mason, Ranger Mason, we got Ranger Pete, we got Ranger Ricardo. Ranger Jennifer was supposed to join as well, but the snowstorm in Dallas knocked out her plans to be over here. And so we've got a booth at the World Money Fair. And this is a really interesting time to be at this event for a couple different reasons. One is that the gold and silver market have gone bonkers. And that's created some frustration because, when I first started this, I reached out to my friend Davy Jones. I said, "Hey, man, let me come out and buy everybody dinner." And this was, I don't know, I guess it was October of 2024. Let me pitch them on crypto. These are gold and silver guys. They're not crypto guys. I know. I've been dealing with that myself for a long time, but let's have a conversation. And it was a challenge to get them to join us on this journey. It was a challenge to get them to give it a try. And they had many of them did, and I'm really grateful for that and appreciative of Davey and his willingness to let me talk to that community. But in the last couple of months, man, gold and silver have gone absolutely bonkers. And I'm not sure if it's a short squeeze that they've been talking about for, 10, 15 years. I don't know if it's supply issues, finally, showing some cracks due to new battery technologies being unveiled by Tesla or Samsung, or if it's really the symptom of a much larger and terrifying problem, which is kind of the end of U.S. dollar dominance, fiat money in general. It could be a number of different things that are causing gold and silver to go bonkers, but they have. And so, a lot of guys traded gold and silver to get into TEXITcoin. And in that time now, gold and silver are up. silver's up 5x from where it was. Gage and I were looking at it the other day, made me 100 TXE bet that silver would break 100 before Sunday, and he was right. And I owe him 100 TXE for that. So, coin shows in the US, they're fun events. The World Money Fair in Berlin, it's the biggest coin show in the world. It's where the national mints show up and show off their wares. It's where the hardware manufacturers of minting technology and equipment show up and display what they've got. We've had a booth here a couple times for silver statues and for Boutin coins and the things that I've done, years ago. And the crowd is always tough, but this year I'm sure it's going to be insufferable based on the market going as crazy as it has, and them coming back to everybody and pointing and saying, "Told you so. I told you that silver was going to hit $100 an ounce," and sure enough, here we are, and it has. So we'll see what happens. But we've got a booth downstairs. The event opens on Thursday. And we'll be down there to share our story of, the future of money, which we believe is cryptocurrency, the future of crypto, which we believe is TEXIT coin, with our friends in the gold and silver industry and our friends in the coin industry and our friends over here in Europe that are coming out to see all the latest and greatest in the realm of money at the World Money Fair in Berlin. So that's where I am. It's 1 o'clock. I'll keep this going with the 739 guests that have joined us for as long as I can before I fall over into my pretzel. Uh, Another pro tip, be careful when you're drinking water. They don't really tell you if it's the fizzy kind of water or the not fizzy kind. So watch out for that when you're over here in Europe. But I want to start off tonight's call, setting aside my 10 minutes of rambling and throwback video, which we'll get to in a few minutes, to wishing TEXITcoin a very happy birthday. You ever see that movie Old School where Frank the Tank is like, at the funeral with his ex-wife and she says, "I'm sorry I didn't call you on your birthday." And he goes, "My birthday?" And he goes, "What?" And she goes, "Oh, Frank, did you forget your birthday?" And I feel just like that because I don't know, what's today for you guys? Today is the 27th because the 26th of January is officially TEXITcoin's 2-year anniversary. Now we track a whole bunch of different dates. We track, week 96, which is our 96th week of Mine TXE. But our blockchain officially started on January 26, 2024. And you can see that if you go to the Block Explorer. Let me see if I can share it with you here. If we go to the Block Explorer and explorer.texitcoin.org and scroll ourselves all the way back to the very last page. Let's share my screen here. Let's see if I can share this one. Unknown. Allow Zoom Workplace to share your screen. Okay. New laptop. Give me a second here. There we go. Use password. Here comes my password. Hopefully you guys aren't seeing this. Zoom may not be able to record the content of your screen until it is quit. Do I want to quit and reopen Zoom? No, man, that's terrible. Tim, you may have to get in here and babble for a few minutes while I close and reopen Zoom. You got it?
I got it. No problem.
Okay.
I can do
Happy
that.
birthday to us. I'll be right back, guys. Hang out. I'll be right
Hey
back.
guys, while he was doing that, I just wanted to talk about real quick about the importance of staying plugged in, right? Right now we've got 773 people on the call, and you guys are the ones typically that are week in, week out. You're on here, you're looking at the updates, but this is what's really important. And especially where we're at right now, we need to make sure that everybody sees what's going on. Bobby, every week, every Tuesday, gets on here, and whether it's the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, he's here to share with us what's going on. And this is your best opportunity to see that, and you can ask questions, and then you can help out with others that are looking at this too. And we got a great community. Some of the things that I was looking at is we've got some people that we're talking about. We've got a few rangers that are going on there, and everybody's looking at ways that they can help, bring up the price of TEXITcoin and everything else. So we're doing different things on our end. Also, one of the things that I was going to share and talk about is the executive regional meetings that we are about to start. We were actually supposed to have one tonight, but in Dallas, Texas, we ended up getting snow and ice. And so if you're in this area, you know what I'm talking about. But I know for those of you that are in other places, you're like, well, Dallas, Texas doesn't get that much snow or ice. Well, when we get just a little bit of snow and ice, it shuts the whole city down. We're not prepared for it, right? But we had one of our big executive meetings planned. And we're super excited about these. When we start bringing these and rolling these out across the country to everybody, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to bring your prospective people to come and hear the best version of TEXITcoin and what we have going on. And we're really gearing up for the next cycle that we're about to do. So, anyway, Bobby's back now. I'll just leave it with that.
I'm back. I got my screen share working properly. And so I just want to pull this up real quick. Guys, we take a lot of flack from trolls all over the internet. I'm sure you guys have seen it unless you've been hiding your head under a rock. I view all of that as a bit of a badge of an accomplishment. You don't get the hate, you don't get the trolls unless you're doing something big. We're gonna get more into that in the next few minutes, but um, I was gonna actually read some mean tweets. You ever see that on like the Tonight Show where they read the mean tweets? In celebration of our birthday. I was trying to pull up all the mean tweets and I could only find a couple really good ones. My wife sent them to me. Because there's lots of terrible negative things out there, but I was looking for like really funny ones. And this one was my favorite. It says, so it looks like we're still on track for a 16 by February, only now it's cents and not dollars. I thought that was pretty good. Who else is going to be excited to hear that Bobby dropped the soap in prison? Not quite as clever. And then Gage had a good one with Texacoin looking like a 3 week old Mylar balloon or something like that. I can't find it here. Sorry, this is what happens at 1:15 in the morning. You get the trying to be funny Bobby when you really need the serious one, I guess. I can't. TXC is the 3 week old Mylar balloon after your birthday. So there you go. So that's our way of celebrating 2 years and one day or so of blockchain success. And again, I guess I got off on that tangent by talking about how people say, oh, there's no tech stack. They haven't done anything. There's nothing to show for their work. There's 2 years and a day now of timestamp transaction history that indicates that we're doing more than nothing, and we're doing much more than anybody else has ever done in the realm of creating an original layer one. Even Litecoin, we've got so many more tools out there than the Litecoin community has. Um, there's a hidden string of text, and I'll give 100 TXC reward out to whoever tells us in the chat area here what is written in the Genesis block of TexaCoin. You can find it in a bunch of different places, but first one to get into the chat section here will claim 100 TXC prize. So anyway, so happy birthday to TexaCoin and happy birthday to our little network that started out of my spare bedroom 2 years ago, and my how far we've come. It's really easy to get lost in the forest, and sometimes we forget that we're a top 1% crypto project. We've outperformed almost everything else that's ever come along in this space. We did it with, a ragtag plan and just a bunch of people that decided that we were going to give honest money in digital currency format a real shot. And I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. And I think you should be proud of that as well. And Andrew is going to collect the prize for what's written in the Genesis block. You may all go to hell, and I will go to Texas. Who said it? For an extra 50 TXC originally. So anyway, let's see what I got in my notes here. Okay, so guys, look, the biggest thing that's happening, that's right, Davy Crockett. Pierre gets the extra 50. So 100 to Andrew. Andrew, send a private chat message here. So we got your TXC wallet address, and Pierre, I know how to track you down. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So the biggest thing that's happening this week is kind of what I call the big week of reckoning. And it's drawing really the final line in the sand and the final moment where we decide, where we figure out the feasibility of the continuation of the Mine TXC comp plan as we know it, or the Mine TXC comp plan in general. And so let me help explain both of those things. A lot of people have been asking lately, like, okay, well, who's really on our team? Like, all these miners, we got 58,000. How many of them are actual people and not like goldfish or family pets? How many people have 3 spots or more spots? So we're looking at our community and we're saying, okay, well, it could be this big, but it's probably more like this big. And then if we start, slimming it down based on, who's still active and who's out there helping us build and grow, it's a lot smaller than that. And what we're trying to do with the changes and enhancements or clarifications that we've made to the comp plan is get it boiled down to an incredibly fair program that rewards the people that are helping us build and grow. And as a comp plan continues on in time, it gets bloated. It ends up, paying out people that maybe haven't done anything in a while. My wife, for example, a couple months ago got a $4,000 supernova bonus, and she hasn't done anything in like 7 months. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, well, my wife's not going out of her way to hurt the company or put our comp plan and our organization and our strategy in jeopardy. Why did that happen? What is it that added up just the right way on that week for her to get a big bonus? Because she hasn't been active and out there, really building this thing like some of the other people have. And so we've been working through the comp plan for a while now to find out where the weak links are, to find out, what it is that's causing us to be above the 50% mark. And again, that's the danger zone for us. And so we put in place the clarifications and the enhancements and the requirements to to stop the commission from continually growing above 50%, 60%. I don't remember exactly how high it got, when we were at like week 92 or 91, but I think it was almost at 80% at one point. And of course, the challenge is that it's incredibly difficult to fill seats on the rocket while we're struggling with the price of the coin. So as we're in our bear market, which I think should be celebrated. You don't get to a bear market without, a major uptick in, the value of something. And so we started at 2.8 cents. We went all the way up over a year and a half to, $6, $7 almost. And then, we had people cash out. I think the price got too hot too fast. I think that we had problems with people getting hacked. I think that we took some of our best performers over to celebrate on a trip on the other side of the world for 2, 3 weeks. I think that there were a whole mess of various things that went into kind of finding the top of our first bull run. And then of course we level off and then we drop down, and that's when people start getting worried and thinking that it's over. And then when you get to the bottom, and we're calling the bottom here in January, you begin the bear market. And the bear market can, last for, days, weeks, months, years, as it has with Bitcoin and other large layer ones or, original blockchains, or it could be over in a couple months. We don't know. But we know that as we enter that bear market and it becomes difficult to sell, it's okay. So long as our comp plan isn't going above 50%. We want it to be easy. We want the price to obviously be going up and not down. But we know that we have to avoid overpaying in terms of compensation if we don't have sales there to justify and afford that comp plan. And so we made some changes, and the last of those changes goes into effect this week. And so that makes this week a really big week to see if the final changes that are going into effect will have the impact on the comp plan that we need it to have in order for this comp plan to continue working. And so the final change is that you have to have 3 sponsors, 3 sponsorships to be active in the Rapid Rewards program. And before this week, you had to have 3 inside of the last 3 months. Now, as of this week, you need to have one of those within the last 30 days. So you need to have one every 30 days, kind of on a rolling 30-day, I think it's like 4-week period in order to stay active. And if you're not active, nothing happens to your mining rewards. You're just not able to take out actual commission from the Rapid Rewards program. And we've gotten a lot of negative feedback about that. Hey, wait a minute, that's not fair. You can't just change the rules on us. Well, we can. We can if it means saving the project so that it can continue moving forward. It would be nice for everybody to get free money and free hash power and free TXE forever. But obviously, we know that it's not sustainable, and things that can't go on forever are not going to. And so we have to make these changes. We want to make them as early as we can. We want to make them as often as necessary to protect the goose that lays the golden egg, as I call it. And so the last change, well, I guess there's two last changes. The two last changes is one sponsorship every 30 days to be in the active status for Rapid Rewards. Remember, it has nothing to do with your 1-2 freeze, and it has nothing to do with your mining rewards paying out every day. And then the second thing is that when people bought the builder plan, it originally came with 3 tracking centers. Now it only comes with one. Well, we linked those 3 tracking centers together, and we said use your top spot to sponsor things, and then you can place people anywhere you want. And we see that as being a major setback as well in terms of, why we got off track in September. We started becoming more like a network marketing company and less like a crowdsourcing, crypto project. And so what we're doing at the end of this month is we're unlinking those 3 spots. So each one of your spots, if you want them to earn commission through the Rapid Rewards program, has to have 3 sponsorships, and each one of them has to have at least one of those sponsorships inside of the last 30 days. And that's it. That's the end. As those requirements go into effect this week, we will see at the end of this week where the dust settles and where the line in the sand is drawn. And people will look at that this week and they'll say, that's it, I'm out. I'm not going to bring one person on every month. It's not going to happen. I'm done promoting this project. And other people will go, well, one a month doesn't seem that bad. I mean, we're salespeople after all. If we're in this project and we're committed to helping it grow and succeed, we've got to do something. We can't all let the other guy do it. And so bringing on one a month in exchange for participating in a commission program seems pretty reasonable. And so this week, that line gets drawn, and we'll find out at the end of this week on Saturday as to whether or not it gets our commission percentage below 50%. If it does, we're on the right track and we start rebuilding. We call the bottom in January, January 31st is Saturday, and we start building back up. And at that point, we'll know really kind of who's ready to go, ready to build this thing, who's serious about being a part of this project's continued growth and success, or we'll find out if the comp plan has run its course, it's done everything that it was ever going to do, it has reached its maximum point of effectiveness, and it's time to turn it off. And change is scary. I understand that. And that's going to be frustrating for a lot of people as well. But of course, the reserves that we've built up along the way, we have to use to finish the project. And that's one of the most important elements about this project. We're crowdsourcing this layer one crypto. There's a mine to build, there's marketing and promotion to do, there are markets and activities, there's tech to develop. There's all this stuff that we have to do in order to follow through on winning with the project. And I want to remind everybody that regardless of whether or not you continue to participate in the Rapid Rewards Comp Plan program, or if the Rapid Rewards Comp Plan continues in any way whatsoever after this week, I want to remind you guys that we're exactly right where we need to be. Our price, our sales, it sure seems like the world is on fire as we look at this. But I want to remind you guys, kind of subtly and kind of not subtly, that we've got everything that we need right now to be successful. And that's a big pill to swallow because on one part it goes, well, what are you doing? You set a goal, 100 million mega hash. We've only sold, 23, 24% of it. Like, are you telling me that we don't need 100 million mega hash? And I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's important. We picked that number based on the research of what's going to take to kind of win over the crypto community, which we haven't won over yet. But we have the resources that we need to build the mine and to get the utility going with our phase two. And that's a really important thing. And so we're expecting those two things to have an impact on the value of the coin, which is what then turns around and drives growth in mining. If people look at mining as just a simple, numbers game investment with an ROI attached to it, once the price of the coin turns back around, we'll see a renewed interest in mining. Why? Because getting 50 cents or 40 cents a day worth of coin is a total waste of time. Getting two, three, four, five, $6 a day of time of money is a great time. It's generational wealth. It's the reason that we're here. And so when those numbers turn around, as of course they will with good leadership, we're going to see a resurgence in mining interest. And with another, 70, 75% of the seats to sell, that's going to be great cash flow that we'll continue to use for all of the things that we set out to do originally, building the mine, promoting the coin, liquidity, tech development, all that stuff. And so, we're at a point right now where it's very, very difficult, understandably so, to fill seats on the rocket. And what we're not going to do is we're not going to burn through all of our resources, and we've got plenty of resources, just to try to continue to sell into a product that at the moment people don't want. And if that's the case, then we repurpose those resources for following through on building the mine and getting our layer two started with phase two. And we continue going and we wait patiently for the price to recover and reflect the results of the work that we're doing. And so I'm here in Berlin right now, continuing to work hard for our success, but I'm on the way to Dubai to get started on the next phase. Why? Because phase two is going well. And we're not going to talk a lot about phase two anymore. We're not going to talk a lot about phase two because I've got phase two trolls already. I don't know if you guys have seen the phase two trolls. Let me see if I can find some phase two trolls here somewhere. Um, we've talked about downtown digital dollars for a while now. We now have a website out there put up by one of the trolls called downtowndigitaldollar.com. And it's a website that somebody went out of their way to pay for and create to trash downtown digital dollars, which to me is really breathtaking. I mean, you got to think about it, right? Somebody is so intent on making sure that we fail that they've almost turned it into a job now to go out there and trash us. And it's like, well, what are they doing? Well, they're working on community currencies. This is the thing that I testified about, 13, 14 years ago in US Congress. And you can't find anybody out there that'll argue that community currencies are bad for Main Street. Small business owners and community currencies. Oh man, that is a terrible combination. But this guy did. This guy went not well, I mean, not about community currencies, but this guy wants to make sure that this project doesn't get out to your community. I mean, this is where the rubber hits the road for our project in developing a network that can support the implementation of community currencies for McKinney, Texas, and for towns all over the United States. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling in how hard they're trying to stop us. So I did a little bit of digging just earlier today on this, and I see that they've got a whole blog set up over here on this chat GPT driven content. I mean, I don't know if you've ever used chat GPT at all, but this is exactly what it is. And that's one of the challenges we have right now. I mean, it's real easy to cook up fake websites and trash people with AI. But they reference something over here. Where is it? It says, see this article. Where is this article? Let's find this article. This article, not that one, but this article. So you click here to learn more about this article, and it takes you over to a Medium page that's set up by this Coin MLS guy. And there's, an article that's trashing us again on something. And you click on this Coin MLS guy, you go down to the beginning, 2019, he's got his first post here, another post in 2019, another one 2019, okay, so 2020, and then nothing until 2024. And then all of a sudden in 2025, we got boom, TEXITcoin, downtown digital dollars on January 6th, January 7th, TEXITcoin. We've given this person new meaning to life. This person now has a purpose and a reason to wake up in the morning so that they can get to work and I'm assuming it's a real person. Of course, I have no idea if it actually is, but they need to get their coffee going and get to work on trashing TEXITcoin. And one of the reasons for that is that if this is a real crypto guy, if this is somebody that's actually interested in cryptocurrency, crypto industry hates network marketing. They hate MLM. And so I'm sure I would have gotten lots of trash regardless, but they'll go out of their way to trash network marketing companies, especially in the crypto space. Anyway, so I did some searches on this guy and I found his LinkedIn page. Maybe that's really Ryan here. And then I got a real winner when I went all the way down to the bottom and found out that he is a certified blockchain specialist from the government blockchain association, and you really just can't make this stuff up. I mean, it just doesn't get any more crystal clear that somebody certified by the government blockchain association has got an axe to grind with the folks over at TEXITcoin that are working on honest money in a non-government, we didn't ask anyone for permission kind of fashion. But that's the kind of stuff that we're up against. And that's a real challenge because as we get into phase two, we really need to have clean hands. If we're going out there and we're engaging municipalities and chambers of commerce and economic development organizations, we really need to go out there and begin to distance ourselves from, the kind of hate and mudslinging that goes into this world of network marketing. And so we looked at the problems that we had with the comp plan, and we determined that what was going on was that, in September-ish, we started acting more like a network marketing company. And that was bad because, we told people in the early days, we're not a network marketing company, we're crowdsourcing this crypto. And so all of a sudden now we start encouraging people to buy multiple spots. We start encouraging people to, start getting creative with their placement and move away from some of the recommendations that we gave them to keep it really simple and supporting a single team to earn more money. And we didn't have the controls and the protections in place that a traditional network marketing comp plan would have to prevent abuse or to, limit the amount of money somebody can make off this thing until they've done enough to drive the growth of the community so that the entire organization grows along with them. And so, we've wrestled with that. And, I've made one thing extremely clear if you've tuned into these calls. TexitCoin isn't an MLM. TexitCoin is a layer one blockchain. Mine TXE isn't an MLM either. It's a crowdsourcing project that's building a mine. It smells like an MLM. It looks like an MLM. It kind of, sounds, did I say sounds? Sounds like an MLM, but it's really not. And so, as we get into this final round of changes to protect the integrity of our system, we come up on this crossroads now where we're going back to our community and we're saying, look, we're not a network marketing company. If we were, we would do things very, very different. And instead, we, are really cleaning it up, tightening it up. And, it may draw that line in the sand for us to look at and say, okay, this is what we are. This is how we're going to move forward. And we're going to have a compensation plan out there for the people that are helping us grow that costs less than 50% of our revenue. Because anything above 50%, we don't have the money in the budget for it, and it can't sustain itself for very long. So we've come to this crossroads, and I'm getting ready, kind of warming myself up for a big moment here. I don't know if anyone has caught it yet. But it comes back to the reason that we played that little introduction flashback video. I don't remember what week it was that we put that together, but I started telling you guys the story a couple months back about Alexander the Great and his conquests across Persia to expand the territory that he was envisioning for the world. And he never lost a battle. He didn't have the biggest army. He didn't have the best plans, but he had a committed group. And his forces were dedicated to following through on their mission. And as they conquered the world that was in front of them, they, made friends along the way. They established trade routes. They, adopted some of the better things of the cultures and the peoples that they encountered along the way. And so what started as, this empire building conquest ended up really evolving into the beginning of the Hellenistic period of our time. And the Hellenistic period really marks the transition from this empire building conquest stuff into more of the rule of law and trade and establishing systems and governance and currencies. And that was all put into place by the adventures of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was also known throughout Persia as Iskander. And so I'm now on my way from Berlin once the money show here completes to Dubai, where we will plant the seeds and get started by mining the very first block of something that I call Iscandercoin. And I call it Iskander because Alexander the Great, the name means protector of men. And for us, Iskander coin is the protector of TXC. And we're doing it because when we talked about, the phases to go from an obscure, nothing, never heard of it coin to the very top of the cryptocurrency industry, we knew that we were going to have to do more than just have a mine built in Texas. It was going to be a great start, and we were going to be able to, find lots of enthusiasm and encouragement and support with a regional coin that, really spoke to the culture of what we have in Texas. And that spirit of Americanism that I believe is deeply rooted in the heart of Texas, is well received by, our fellow Americans around the country. And of course, people all over the world have joined us in our cause of building honest money and having the control of it back in the hands of the people. And, as evidenced just now by this recent storm, we know that to have a network that's built exclusively in one territory is not going to support mission critical applications. It's just not redundant enough. It's not big enough. It's not, multipolar enough. And so some time ago, probably about a year ago, we started talking about the idea of cross mining. And I called it phase three. I said, phase one is building the mine here in Texas. That's where we get started. That's our backbone. We build it here. It's built exclusively in Texas. And we're making great progress on that. We're not done. We've got a long way to go. We've only sold 23, 24% of it so far. Phase two, of course, is utility. Why are you building this network? What are you doing with this project? What purpose does it serve? Well, we're doing it because we need a network that'll process the transactions that are taking place on the community currencies that we're building. That's always been my passion, my background. That's what I'm good at. That's what I enjoy. And that's the path that I see to create greater economic resilience for people all over the state of Texas and all over the country as well. And so that's phase two for us. Well, what's phase three? Phase three is what I call cross mining. Cross mining is very similar to merge mining. You know how we're mining Litecoin right now to help offset our electricity costs. It's going great. We're very happy with it, and it's accomplishing its major goal. Cross mining is very similar, but in cross mining, instead of us mining somebody else's coin and keeping that coin for ourselves, we allow the other network to keep their coin. Reciprocally, they use their network to support our coin, and we keep all of our coin as well. So you can think of it kind of as a reciprocal mining agreement between two different mines, different coins, different technologies that are independent. They keep all of the coins for themselves, but they support each other's networks. And I call that cross mining. Now, we created the phrase because we're the only ones that can do it. Why? Because we control both networks, number one. And number two is we don't need a financial incentive to take somebody else's coin like Litecoin does with Doge and vice versa. And so we're able to use our mining power to support another coin out there and let that mine keep all of its coin because we get those coins essentially at no cost. I call it cross mining. And we started talking about it, like I said, about a year ago. And we talked about it as being the third phase for our project. Phase one is off to a great start. We're long from done. Phase two is now off to a great start as well, even with the trolls. That's why we're not going to spend a lot of time with trade secrets on phase two. You can go through that downtowndigitaldollar.com website, and there's just so much in there that they missed or don't know. They could go back through the videos and figure out where they're wrong on everything, but we're not going to make their job easy for them. We're going to continue to do our job in phase two. We got a great team working on it now. The business model of phase two is very, very simple on both of our target markets and industries. And so all we're doing with phase two that's different from two existing business models that are very successful in their industries is bringing those two models together to have them serve and complement each other. That's phase two. And now with phase three, we go on and repeat phase one all over again. Now, when we were out in Thailand and Singapore, we were exploring that region as the potential place to get started with phase two, with phase three. And ultimately, due to regulatory issues out there, and I would say just the demographic of the GDP of the people in the countries that we wanted to roll it out to, it wasn't the right place to start the first version of phase three. Now, remember, we're going to do this four more times. We have a goal for South America, we have a goal for Africa, we have a goal for Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and we also have a goal for Asia. So we have at least four more of these in us. What does that mean? It means instead of building a 100 million mega hash mine that's exclusively to Texas, we want to build five 100 million mega hash mines and have them scattered all over the planet so that they're regionally significant, but global in their support of the entire network. And so we decided that for simplicity, for getting in front of the target market that we desire to be in front of, and for the best shot of success in growing our project beyond the borders of Texas, that the best place to do it is actually out of Dubai. And so I will be on a plane from Berlin to Dubai as soon as the World Money Fair completes. I think I leave on Sunday, maybe Saturday, Sunday, to go over there and to finish laying the groundwork, get the last couple pieces in place for us to launch Iscandercoin, Iskandercoin, and have that, like I said, as being the first version of us moving into phase three. And there's a lot of stuff about it that's really important. I want to talk about those things for a couple minutes. It's very, very similar to TEXITcoin in many ways. The number of coins per block, TEXITcoin, we make 254 coins per block. With Iskander, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because we've talked about it earlier today, I believe that our block reward is 312. And there's a significant reason for that. I'll get to to that in a little bit. But 312 is the block reward. Part of the reason for that is that, yeah, it's 312, is that we want to have a number that's kind of similar to the TEXITcoin network. We want to have similar specifications, block halving time, total, time to mine all the coins. So it's going to be very similar in terms of its technological features as TEXITcoin. The purpose is the same. The purpose is to create a 100 million mega hash mine to support local community currencies, fairs and festivals, all the same things that we're doing here in the Middle East and Eastern Europe. And so all of that's very similar. But again, the goal is to create something that's culturally relevant, significant to the people in the area where we're primarily marketing the project. And that then brings us to the next point of like, okay, well, how is this different? And it's very different because Iskander, and you guys are going to love this one, Iskander is created to be a network marketing company. And I know at 1:46 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, I should probably not be like getting too deep into that can of worms, but I want to say it again, and it's important because we never designed TEXITcoin or MineTXT to be a network marketing company. I've never done network marketing before. I have no experience with it. I'm unfamiliar with it. I would have never done it over my dead body. I think those were my exact words back in 2014 when my friend invited me to mine Bitcoin with him. But Iskander is designed to be a network marketing company. And so this matters because, TEXITcoin kind of stalled out in terms of its community growth back in September. We've talked earlier today and at length in the past about exactly why I think that happened. I think there are a lot of contributing factors to it. But it stalled out because the comp plan doesn't drive the MLM growth and success that we needed it to when we got into the middle. We've talked about the early days of TEXITcoin and how people got involved in mining, not because there was a coin that was worth $6, but because there was an upside, there was risk, there was an opportunity, and the numbers were big. If you get into TEXITcoin at 2.8 cents, we could 100 or 1,000x the money. Some people did. And so it's all about the upside. It's all about the gamble in the beginning. Then it's easy to get involved at the end. Why? You've got a successful project. It's got a multi-year track record of following through. It pays its commissions every week. It pays its payroll every week. It pays its bills on time. it runs its business well, and the project has been successful enough to fill up 95% of the seats. And so we know that the people that get on at the end of the project do it because, why not? It's a successful project. I wouldn't mind mining a coin for another 134, 135 years if I knew that the project had a proven track record, something like Bitcoin or one of the other majors. That makes perfect sense. So the hard work is in the middle when the coin output per seed is dropping. And when the thing that's more attractive for involvement is not necessarily the daily coin reward, but the commission that could be earned from helping fill the seats on the rocket ship. That's what network marketing people do. Network marketing people put their contacts, their relationships, their friends, their colleagues, their coworkers, their, church congregation members, um, into programs that are designed to create health and wealth and abundance for those communities. They do it because they like each other and they trust each other and they're willing to listen to each other. That's what network marketing was always all about. And they put the food on the table in exchange for doing that to help, market products that aren't easily sold through traditional sales channels. It's really hard to take a crypto project and start advertising on Facebook or, Meta or TikTok or wherever it is that these projects, could get in front of the biggest audiences. And so network marketing kind of swoops in and says, "Hey, we'll take this. We're, um, person to person. We're individual to individual. We don't have any gatekeepers, and we're going to earn a commission. We're outside sales reps that are going to help build your company's product line success and sales in exchange for compensation." They're not bad people. Sometimes they get involved in, less than reputable organizations because they're looking for the next thing that hasn't, been done 1,000 times already. And so we need those people to help us grow when it's difficult to fill the seats on the rocket ship. But we never build a plan to really attract them. We've got hard caps. You can't buy more than 9. Well, I've got a friend that wants to put $50,000 in. I'm sorry, that's not available. You can't do that with TEXITcoin. We've got hard limits. And they want to be able to earn a lot of money. If they're successful in that work, they want to earn, 10, 20, 30, $40,000 a month, which you can't do with TEXITcoin. Each seat only pays out $3,000 a week in commission. So we attracted some of these really great people to come into our organization to do that for us. And they said, man, already maxed out for the week. Got my 9 points here, my 9 points there. My commission potential is through the roof. I'm done. I'll do more work next week if I have to. And so we never developed a plan that was going to drive the type of behavior that we needed to be successful in the middle. And I think that that's a really big and important thing that we have to call out. I think that we have to, praise network marketing for, what it is and what it can do. And I think we have to, continue to be, kind of curious and, expecting transparency and good things out of network marketing people that are bringing information and knowledge and opportunities to their colleagues. I think that we have to continue to have a high standard in those things, or it becomes one of those terrible things that people love to hate on. But we never had a plan that drove that kind of growth. In fact, we did the opposite. In September, it really went off the rails when we tried to act more like an MLM without building those protections in that we're going to keep our comp plan healthy and keep pushing people to help their people continue to build and grow and fill the seats on the rocket ship. And so, one of the other things that's extremely important is as we get deeper into phase two, like I mentioned, it's really important that we make that clear distinction between what we're doing with phase two, TEXITcoin, and the downtown digital dollars, and make sure that the municipality leadership and the economic development offices and the chambers of commerce don't think that TEXITcoin is an MLM. That's another barrier that we have to overcome because, like I said, a lot of people love to hate on MLM. We've seen some of them out there already. We know that the crypto community really loves to hate on crypto MLM. And so it's important now that we don't take TEXITcoin deeper into MLM territory by doing the simple things that MLM things need in order to be successful. We've talked to some really great people in our community, and they all say the same thing, man. Hey, we need ranks, we need recognition, we need rewards for performance. Well, we don't want to do that because we're not an MLM and we don't want people to think we're an MLM. We're going to need a higher buy-in. Why are you letting everybody buy in and come in at the same level? Where are the incentives for people to lock up their coins? Where are the incentives for people to, pick up larger packages and finance those packages against future commissions? Well, we don't do those things because we're not an MLM. That's what the MLM guys do. So as we get into phase three, we're looking at this and saying, man, we did really great in first gear. We attracted these top people, guys like Thomas Dubois, guys like Coach Bud, Carl Wilt, Greg Knox, Ricardo, Brig. I mean, guys, normal companies would have to go out of their way and bring cash to pay these guys to come and promote a project like ours. We attracted these guys because we're doing something great. We're doing something important. And they're looking at it and saying, man, if we have the power of network marketing, this, person-to-person referral marketing strategy paired up with something as important as honest money, community currencies, we've got a match made in heaven. Typically they're stuck with potions and lotions and pills and vitamins and this and that and the other thing. Honest money. Imagine what you could do if you took the power of good relationship referral marketing and paired it up with something as important as honest money, done the right way. I think you could have something really great. And so the question that we ask ourselves today is what would happen? What happens if you take some of these great people and the leadership of a top 1% cryptocurrency project and you pair it up with a real network marketing plan, a real plan that drives growth, a real plan that rewards success, a real plan that doesn't cap people on a low buy-in and a low payout? What happens? Well, the name of that project is Iskander, and I want to invite you to continue the journey with me there. We're not shutting down TEXITcoin. This has nothing to do with TEXITcoin. This is the beginning of phase three. And if you're one of those people out there that thinks that we, have some meat missing from the bone of the little comp plan that I put together that you can explain in 5 seconds for Mind TXC, you're probably right. And I was a brick wall. People came to me before. They said, hey, you got to change this, or you're going to run out of steam. And I said, it's not a network marketing company. We're not changing it. It's exactly how I want it to be. It's perfect. It's working great. Leave it alone. And we got really far in first gear. 140 something million dollars raised, 50 something thousand people in our community, 24% of our mines sold. This is nothing short of amazing. It's something to be very proud of. And now, as we continue to grow and continue to work through our plan and get into phase three, the next version, we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to do it in a way that is not just smelling more like network marketing, but it is network marketing. And it's network marketing because it works. I've seen it work firsthand. I would have never done it before in my entire life. And I tell you now, I would never do it a different way. You need transparency, you need honesty, you need all the things that we've proven to people are required to have a successful thing. We've done it, it's worked. And if we can take those same values, those same key characteristics, and team them up with some great people that we already have in our community and set them loose in an area of the world that's begging for something like what we have, something real, something not anonymous, something that has real leadership. Come on, in a part of the world that's flush with cash, that's clawing their way out of, poverty, that's got extra spending money, that's looking for a side hustle, what do you think would happen if we paired those things together? Great leadership, great reputation, transparency. I think we'd have something really great. And I'd like you to consider joining me in that adventure. If you go over to iscandercoin.com, iskandercoin.com. Let me pull it up here and make sure that it works. We just pushed it live a couple minutes ago. Where's my screen? No, 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 no. I don't know where my screen is. What happened to my window? New computer here, figuring it out. If you go over to iskandercoin.com, you'll see the website that I'm talking about. And there's not much there today. Lots of details are coming soon and will follow shortly. There's my screen with our friend Ryan over there. Realtor in Arizona. Thanks for making a full-time job out of trolling. There he is. Iscandercoin. Check it out. Iscandercoin.com. Let's refresh the page and make sure it still works. There's a little button there that says learn more. And it just is a form to fill out with your name, email address, phone number, your TEXITcoin user ID, and your message or question. I'm sure that you're going to have lots of questions as we get into phase three. There's a lot to digest, and we're going to have plenty more times to talk about it. But I want to let you know now that we will mine the first block of Iscandercoin from Dubai on February 3rd. If you would like to be part of the Founders Club and mine the first block with us and be part of the first day's reward, you have an opportunity to join, as many people already have. We talked about this with TEXIT Rangers last Wednesday. If you'd like to join us and mine the first block as part of the Founders Club, it's not cheap. It's actually quite expensive. It's $27,000. That gets you 27 seats on the Iskander mining network, which is going to be not a whole lot more like a network marketing company, but it is going to be a network marketing company that's run like a network marketing company by some really great people that are experienced in network marketing. But if you'd like to be part of the first block mining that'll go down on February 3rd, what is that, Tuesday? I think we'll even do it live. How's that for fun? February 3rd is Tuesday. Maybe we'll do it live on a Tuesday night call. If you'd like to be part of that, fill out that form. Even if you're not interested in being part of the Founders Club and you want to jump on later, we will open it up after February 3rd for other people. Now, just so you know, we will respect the minor structure of the organization we have now. So if you fill out the form first or second or 82nd, it doesn't matter. We're going to go through and we're going to rebuild the tree, and we're going to start with your minor number. And what that means is that you can't jump ahead of your buddy because you sent your money in first for this one. We're going to focus very much more closely on team building. We'll probably have something like forced placement along with other tools that will allow you to get the best, fastest benefits out of the comp plan. That's a lot of MLM stuff that we're going to get more into as we watch Iskander come together and develop. But if you'd like to join us, whether that's as a Founders Club, put Founders Club in there in the notes if you like, or just join us later as a miner. It's going to be very, very similar in structure, but we're going to multiply everything by 9. So instead of the maximum buy-in being $9,000, we're going to have the maximum buy-in for a single seat be $81,000. You will be allowed to buy up to 3 seats for $243,000. The maximum payout per tracking center is not going to be $3,000 a week. It'll be $27,000 a week. And this will give us the ability to really build our teams, to focus on, the things that have worked well for network marketing companies in the past, but not have the limitations in there that have really slowed down TEXITcoin, which I think was important for us. It's our first time. Didn't really know what we were doing. Found out some really great stuff, found out some things that needed to change. Not going to change them in TEXITcoin. We've got the last couple things that are going to affect this week. We'll see how they go. If they get TEXITcoin to where it needs to be at or below its 50% mark, it continues and we continue building. If you'd like to join both and sell both of those, have 2 products in your tool belt, you may do that as well. But this is the beginning of phase 3. Phase 2 is going very well. I'm very happy with it. Phase 1 is struggling right now because we need to make some changes. We're making the changes this week. The last couple changes are going into effect. We'll see what happens with that. So this is an important week for TEXITcoin, for MineTXC, and it's a very important week for phase 3 with Iscandercoin. So I'd like to invite you to join me on that journey. When you came into this group, I told you I'd only ever ask for money from you one time. I'd never ask you to put in money again, and that's still the case today. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Remember that TEXITcoin is doing great. We've got plenty of resources to follow through on everything that we said we were going to do, including layer 2, including phase 2. It's all underway, and you can continue to kind of rest easy if you're not interested or able to continue helping us build and grow this thing, it's all good. We've got really great people that are well compensated, that are leading the way on layer two, on layer one, installing the mining hardware, all of that stuff. And we expect the price of the coin to rebound in the not so distant future. We've got lots of plans and strategies on how to do that. We've got Michaelan just started a new miner orientation call this past week. And that's a really powerful thing for getting people engaged and off to a good start as they join us. We've got great education and training programs coming out from our friends at Briggs Group, and also Angelo and Melissa are putting together great training material, stuff that we've been talking about for a year or so. It's finally getting done. We've got our CRMs that Jim Carrey put together for us that are doing a great job helping us collect contact information from these big events that we're doing so that people have the ability to stay up to date with our project, pick up a handful of coins when they're ready, and then join us for a mining event and, take that next level jump when they're, prepared to do that. As those things come together, as the L2 performs, as the layer two performs, we'll see the price go up. That's an expected response. We're going through a period of testing right now. The market's looking at us and they're saying, are you guys serious? Was this a pump and dump? Is this the rug pull opportunity? Or are you serious about this project being successful? I'm serious about it. I know how convicted I am. I know how confident I am. I know that what we're doing is working and will continue to work as expected. Websites, another big thing. I just had it up on my screen a minute ago, and I'm not sure if you saw it there. But we also finally got back all of the latest website design elements that bring all of the content that we've been missing for a long time front and center, cleaned up so that we get a little bit further away from some of the things we promoted heavily in the early days and actively, really focus and put a spotlight on the things that really matter for us today, our community, our growth, our promotion efforts, the social media things that are happening. I mean, all that stuff is underway right now as well. So there's a whole bunch of things that are happening. In addition to that, we've got phase three kicking off on Tuesday, February 3rd. So it's not for everybody. I get it. Some of the people that are on this call are saying, look, man, this is as network marketing as I ever thought I'd get. No mas. That's it. Other people are saying, finally, he listened. And to those people, I say, please join me. Please consider joining me and my friends and the leadership team. We're all here. We're all going over and doing the work that's necessary to build a strong, redundant, multipolar network and something that's going to support the work that we're doing with TEXITcoin at zero cost to TEXITcoin miners, as we'll support the work that's going on over there in Eastern Europe and the Middle East with something that has zero cost to their miners as well. And it gives us another million seats for the rocket ship. It gives us the ability to go from 100 million megahash to 200 million megahash to become an even larger, more dominant force in the realm of all things crypto. As we continue to scale our way up with these regionally, specific, locally supported coins, we're expecting the same kind of results that we got with TEXITcoin to happen the same way in other parts of the world. So if you missed out on the really early days of TEXITcoin, if you missed out on that first, bull run all the way up to $7, this might be an opportunity for you to jump in on a new coin that's run by the exact same people. Same people, guys. Same guy. And experience it from a different perspective if you'd like to. You don't have to if you don't want to. It costs you nothing if you shake your head and say no. If you'd like to continue working and promoting TEXITcoin, let's cross our fingers and hope that the last couple changes that we're putting into effect for the comp plan do the job that we expect them to do and get that number under 50% so that we have the ability to stay profitable as we continue marching forward. I cannot tell you guys how very happy I am with the fact that we've been profitable enough to go as far as we have, as fast as we have, go through this beginning of the bear market, to go through a slowdown in sales and have zero impact whatsoever on our ability to follow through on the promises that we made to you. That's what happens with profitability. I didn't understand that for a long time when I was in the coin industry making $1 a coin. A business problem came up in 2013. I was running on the thinnest of thin margins and I wasn't able to handle it appropriately and I lost my business because of it. Now we go through a downturn, we have resources. We even came up with a strategy to store our money in different places so that if one thing went down in value, we had something else that was going up. Our Ethereum's down 35% from when we picked up $1 million worth of it back, some time ago. Our gold and silver are way up. And so, the diversification strategy that we employed to keep our funds safe as we continue to navigate, the beginning of original layer one coin worked out perfectly. And so we've got everything we need right now for us to be successful. We're working harder on it every day. We're working on phase one. We're working on phase two with Downtown Digital, and we're working on phase three now with Iscandercoin. If you like what we've done so far, if you think that we've been honest with you, if you think that we've been upfront with our successes and our challenges, if you've had a good time, if you've made some friends, if you've gotten some education or knowledge out of the experience, if you're pleased with the results, I'd like you to consider going over to iscandercoin.com, filling out the form, and letting us know who you are. If it's not for you, it's all good. TEXITcoin is your rocket, and let's keep going. But we've got a great opportunity, and we're going to run the great opportunity the way it really is, with the opportunities built into the comp plan that reward the people out there that know what they're doing, and have the protections built into it so that the people that are just there for a quick buck or just there to mine coins don't take out too much in resources that make it unsustainable for the people that are building and growing to continue to be successful. That's what we've got in Iskander. Guys, I'm really proud of it. I would have never said that 2 years ago, but here we are, 2 years and one day into mining TXC, and I'm convinced that the strategy that is network marketing, good old-fashioned MLM, is a good strategy. If it's run by good people, it creates good results. I think we've got some great people here, and I'm expecting great results out of Iskander. And again, I'd like you to consider joining me for that adventure. If you want to, and you have the means to do it, pull some cash out of your pocket. I'll even take TXC if you'd like to use that. I don't think it's a good idea. I think the price of TEXITcoin is extremely low and should be stockpiled right now, hodl, as they say. But if you'd like to join and you're comfortable with taking another leap of faith, fill out the form on iscandercoin.com, buckle up, and let's go. That's it for my call tonight. Tim, Gage, Bear, did I miss anything? Mitchell, anything else
Oh,
that we have
that
to
was great.
cover?
We have a lot of good questions there about Iskander. So, great job on explaining that.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mary. That's why I get paid the big bucks. All right, let's pull up the Q&A. And let's see what the questions are. Hi, Bobby. Can you please break down where all the liquidity funds have been invested? Gold, silver, other crypto, real estate, and all. I can by directing you over to the help.mindtxc.com article where we've got an exact list of those things. If you do a search or you just go to the Help Center, the first article that pops up is Path to 16. Scroll yourself down that page and you can see this. It's all right there. It's not just right there, but if you click on the property stuff, you can actually see important vital records that my wife would not be real happy knowing that I have shared here. Click on transactions, grab the details on this Beavis transaction ID. I don't know how to get it here. Here it is. This op return data, and then go over to any kind of IPFS Explorer. Let's see if this will do it. You put in a file name, and there is the file. This is going to give me the file. Give it to me. Type file. I don't know if it'll actually let me see the file. IPFS Explorer. We have to find an IPFS viewer. View content. There you go. There's a PDF document. What is this PDF document? Let's click on it. There it is. It's a statement of the Homeowners Association account of the Dunes at West Beach Community Service Association, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, showing the property address. So you can go through any one of these documents and you can look at all these different Beavis transaction IDs, and they'll all tell you something a little bit different about the property. So, you just click on a specific transaction ID here, get the details, and then again, you can grab this, go to your IPFS Explorer. Where did I find it? Right here. And every one of these content IDs, that's what they're called, content identifiers will give you something different. And again, this is about as much transparency as you're going to get. American Property Guard tax certificate. This is the certificate showing you that the property has the tax paid up. So all the property that we have is listed there on that page. And so you can dig into each one of those transaction records to see exactly what's there. Add it up, we're doing pretty well. And that's all reserves that we haven't even considered touching yet. So check it out there, Neil. Hopefully that answers your question. More transparency, I think, than you'll get anywhere else. Joseph wants to know what would happen if we, everyone on this call, all bought 50 TXE per day for the next 2 weeks in the open market. Well, the price would probably go up. I don't know. You can always look at the market and see exactly how far it'll go based on, what the buyers and sellers are doing. But what I need to reiterate to you is that, we don't want to pay an influencer to pump the price up. If we did that, the price would pump up, and then all the people that are angry right now would sell their coins and the price would go back down. What we're looking for is long-term sustainable growth and value. Bitcoin didn't go from, 10,000 BTC for two large pizzas to $100,000 overnight. It took 15 years, 16 years to get there. And so we're 2 years in. We've developed a lot of tech in the last couple of years. And we're looking at the market now and saying, all right, do we do the nuclear option and pay an influencer to get this thing up so people get off our back? Or do we continue to follow through on the work that we're doing and have a real sustainable project? I'm going for real and sustainable. If you guys want to band together and start buying coins off the open market, you can. And I think that that's a good idea. We've got Nelson right now that's going through with his Armadillo Army. Is that what it's called? And getting trading bots to go in there and mess with the market as well. It's our market, guys. I don't control it. I tried it for a while. We had our path to 16. We blew through way too much capital very quickly. And so now it's, time to get the work done. So the price is a reflection of the work, not of, whatever market activity we can spur at any particular moment. Jan says, how can I catch up on what has happened since the Sarasota Money Show? I don't know what a Sarasota Money Show is. I need information about what this is all about and how I can best participate. Well, Jan, if you were a miner, I would graduate you right now for being out of touch. But in all seriousness, Jan, this call is for miners, not for people that are interested in learning more. If you are a miner, then please talk to your sponsor. Go to the help desk, help.minetxe.com. You can learn more there. You can also go into your back office and watch 96 weeks worth of me mumbling on about how excited I am about this project. I need the PDF in Hindu. I don't know if we have a PDF, but maybe Google Translate can help you. It's 3 sponsorships in 13 weeks, not one per month. It is, but as of the end of this month, you need to have one inside of the last 30 days. Does the one new enrollment in the last 30 days replace the 3 in the last 13 weeks? No, it's in addition to that. So you have to have 3 rolling in the previous 90 days and at least one per month. Hopefully that answers your question, Coach Bud. Where do I get marketing material needed to contribute to the crowdsourcing? Well, we've got brochures, we've got coins, we've got lots and lots and lots of website videos. We've got some things that go out in the welcome kit that would be good for you to hand out. But talk to a sponsor and find out what the best resources are there. The thing that's really great that I like now is these new CRMs. The websites are just really great. They tell the whole story and give you access to lots of videos and resources. So if I haven't had any signups since September, do I need to have just one this week or 3? You need to have 3. You had to have had that for a couple weeks now. I think we put that into effect in week 92. Anthony says, perhaps your upline can give you the marketing materials. Yes, indeed. People are making all kinds of great stuff, but we need to do a better job, creating that stuff and handing it off so everybody has access to the best quality stuff. If we had 3 that signed up when we initially got on the rocket, but haven't had anyone lately and we go inactive, once we get a new miner, we'll be reactivated. Yeah, once you follow the latest rules, which are you have to have 3 and you have to have at least three inside of a rolling 90-day period, and one of those within the last month, then yes, you'll go active again. But none of that affects your mining output. So if the interest picks back up, will you open back up the comp plan if it gets turned off? That's a good question. I think the answer to that is no. I think the answer is no. If the changes that we're making now don't produce the results that we want, I think that we will either switch to a direct sales model, or sell it on the website. It's a different thing then, because the people that buy it are going to be driven not by the sense of community, but by the profit motive. And that's okay. We want people here to make money. We just, would prefer it to be people in our community that we're helping to have access to that opportunity, as opposed to just some random guy off the internet that wants to make a couple bucks. My last sponsor was November 22nd. If I sponsor one person this week, will I stay active? I don't know. I'd have to take a look specifically, but reach out to enrollment through your back office if you're curious about it. And let's get that question answered for you. I would appreciate clarity and consolidation. I have two builders with three spots each. If I was to consolidate, do I lose my miner seats? No, you never lose miner seats ever. You can, I think, sometimes move them, but you don't have to consolidate either. The idea of consolidation is making it easy to support your team. And so if you've built a team and you got your team scattered all over the board, it makes it difficult for everybody to be successful. So when we say, hey, consider consolidating, that was a benefit that we gave out to people to make it easy for you to not only hit a commission, but also help your people get commission as well. Coach Bud comes back to say, I have sponsored 4 new people in the last week. Thanks, Coach Bud. Most of them don't know and don't care about the current price of TXC. They're excited that they can participate in the mining process and get TXC every day for the next 130 plus years. It's all in the approach and proper setting of expectations and painting a picture of our mission and our future value. That's really important, guys. Thanks, Coach Bud, for saying that. But I'll mention two things uh, about it. Number one is, you got to remember, when we started this thing, we didn't have a coin, we didn't have a price, we were on it. We've got all those things now. And so a lot of you have joined us in just the last 4, 5, 6, 7 months. And so we were able to build this thing back when we had nothing, just an idea. And that idea was, this is number two, honest money. This idea was, hey, I'm a guy that knows how to start an alternative currency. I know how to get an alternative currency to be used and successful. The Bitcoin guys don't. They abandon that mission because they don't know how to do that. I do, but I got to build a rocket. Come with me. Let's build it together. Well, what'll happen if we're successful? I think we can be $1 billion coin. Well, let's go. That's what we used back in the beginning. The conversation was about honest money. It was about the future of money and how important it is that the future of money is in our hands, not the banks, not the overlords. We control money. This whole experiment where government prints money is kind of new in the course of human events. And I can say with a pretty high level of confidence that it hasn't worked out well for us. Look what's happened to the middle class. They've inflated away our savings. That's what this project is about. You can give me a hard time about my history in gold and silver. You can give us a hard time about it kind of smelling like network marketing. You can give us a hard time about being in crypto. But the naked truth of it is that this project is about alternative complementary currency. It's about picking up where Bitcoin left off when it abandoned the mission of digital decentralized peer-to-peer currency. I fell in love with it. It took me the better part of a dozen years to get it. That's why I'm here. Many of you are here to make some money. Many of you are here to earn some commission. Many of you are here for a quick buck. I don't know why you're all here, but the fact that you're passionate about the same thing that I'm passionate about is fuel for my fire. This project has grown so many orders of magnitude bigger than what I was ever able to accomplish with gold and silver. I've got a voice now. I've got an audience. I got 890 people tuned in. And we've got a real thing here, and it's honest money. And it makes sense that it's attractive because honest money is important. And if we get back to the basics, if we get back to our roots of introducing this project to people through that strategy, through that message, it works. People don't look at the price. They don't care if the coin is up or down. They care about what we're doing. They care about why we're doing it. I've sponsored 3 miners this month. Last two on 115. Do I sponsor another by 215 to be eligible for rapid rewards, or is it 90 days? Ginger, you're gonna have to talk to enrollment because it's 2:22 a.m. where I am. And yeah, Coin MLS has 86 followers. Look, guys, it's all good. You can use AI to generate content and troll anyone and anything. It just means that we're getting somewhere. It just means that they can hear us. Check with enrollment, Ginger, to get specifics on what's going on with the requirements as they pertain to your particular account. Tony wants to know if I can sue these people to stop them. Look, you're just chasing your tail on this kind of thing. There's a never-ending quantity of trolls. We don't even know if they're real. We don't know if that person's real. They may not even be real. You can generate a fake picture of anyone right now, make a fakepicture.com, and it'll just make a fake picture, fake profile, fake picture, fake troll posts. I don't know if much of it's real. What's the point of building out the mine? How will that benefit TXC? The bigger the mine, stronger the network, the more reliable the financial system is. And we want it big enough to get the attention of mainstream crypto. That's how we get onto the top. If we're doing our thing in Texas, that's good, but we want to get to the top of the crypto industry, and we won't get there without the support of the crypto industry. How do we get their attention? We take their blocks. What do we need to take their blocks? A giant mine. Dubai making XRP first blockchain-enabled payment provider to operate within DIFC. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. Keep the IP a secret. That's what I'm saying. We give out a lot of information on these calls. And some people tune in and use it for nefarious purposes. I feel the affiliate program is very instrumental to building the mine. I hope that before killing an entire program, the non-producers are kicked, or as you say, graduated from the program. Then maybe it's possible to revamp a program to benefit only those that are actively working. That's what we have right now, Trey. We've got the changes going into effect that are going to frustrate a lot of people. People have said like one a month. That's really out of line. It's starting to smell like an auto ship. And I say, look, we're sales guys. We're supposed to be selling this thing. We should be able to make one sale a month. It's not the end of the world. If you have to make one sale a month to continue claiming $3,000 a week in commissions, seems like a pretty easy thing to do. Is this Iskander in agreement with the Zetrix blockchain and piggybacking on RMJDT stablecoin? No, I don't know what those are. For clarity, Iskander, and we're spelling it wrong, Iskander. Is our MLM coin correct? If so, TXC miners will have first dibs, correct? Or did I misunderstand? Connie, I think you got the basic details right. Iskander. Look, you got to remember the coin is a layer one coin. The mining is being built through a network marketing company that we call Iskander Network. So clarity, number one, TEXITcoin ship number one, and number two, Iscandercoin ship number two. Then coins 3, 4, 5 to all support the mothership. That's right. We can bind to each ship separately. Yes, you can. That's right. Is Iscandercoin being built on TEXITcoin network? Will that help the price of TXC? No, it's being built on its own network, but it will mine TXC through cross mining, which will help the TEXITcoin network. Remember, if we're building 100 million mega hash, we're yelling at the crypto industry and they can hear us. 500 million mega hash, or we would then be the largest miner of Litecoin Doge. So if we're using Texit funds to get Iskander off the ground, who said that? How do current TXC miners that put their money in benefit from this new venture? No, this is all new money. Please outlay how Iscandercoin will support and uplift the TEXITcoin project and program, or will they be separate and autonomous from this original group? Look, give me a little bit to get specifics on exactly what the crossover is, because there will be some crossover. For example, customer service. And we've got a customer service team in McKinney. They're very bored right now. They're signing up 10, 12, 15 people a day. They used to do 5, 6, 700 people a day. Will we repurpose some of them and shift them over to the Iskander budget? Yeah, probably. Do they speak the local language? No. So we'll have to complement that with other people. But there will be some crossover. There's plenty of synergy because the two projects are very similar and almost identical. But give me a little bit of time to work out exactly what the specifics are there, what the crossover is. What does the Founders Club get you? Good question. Okay, so the Founders Club for TEXITcoin got you a 500 mega hash bonus for every 1-2 free. That same thing will be the case for the Founders Club in Iskander. So if you're a member of the Founders Club, you will have access to 500 mega hash on a 1-2 free bonus. It's kind of a big deal. Otherwise, There are some specifics there based on the buy-in. So the $27,000 buy-in does a couple different things for you. One is it gives you access to the Founders Club. Two, it helps you leapfrog over some of the initial level requirements that are going to be in place. So one of the things people told us about TEXITcoin was like, look, the guy that buys in for the 9 pack should have more commission opportunity, earning power than the guy that buys in for the 1 pack. No, that's how MLMs do it. That's not how we're doing it. Iskander is going to work like that. So if somebody buys in for a $27,000 package, they're going to be able to leapfrog over some of those requirements and get themselves off to a faster start. I don't have specifics on exactly what those are. I'm hoping to have them by next Tuesday, a week from today, so that I can give you better information about exactly what the Founders Club gets you. Um, First and foremost, the opportunity is only open to Founders Club's uh, participants between now and February 3rd. Once February 3rd is passed, anyone's allowed to jump in. I think what we're going to do for a while is we're going to make a requirement that you have to be a TXC miner in order to join Iskander. That will drive interest in TEXITcoin. Why? Well, because people are already familiar with this. They already know the basics, the routine, how the sign up works, and all that stuff. So as we roll this thing out slowly but surely, we're rolling it out first to TEXITcoin community people. The official launch date of Iskander is April 29th. We will officially launch it at or alongside, haven't decided yet, Token 2049. That was the same big event that we did in Singapore. We'll do that in Dubai. And so that's the official launch date. So we'll have people be able to buy in non-founders clubs positions after February 3rd. Finally, will Iscandercoin cause the price of TEXITcoin to go up? Um, I think so, James. I can't say for sure exactly how that crossover will have a positive impact on TEXITcoin. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think it was going to raise the tide in all the ships, as I like to say at 2:30 in the AMs. But this boosts TEXITcoin's network performance as we build this mine. And so we'll be able to watch our TEXITcoin mine go up now to 100 million mega hashes as we build it out, but 200 million mega hashes as both networks are built out. So yes, it does help TEXIT. It does help it in terms of redundancy. It should also help it in terms of value, but we'll see exactly how that plays out. Per mining position cost for Iscandercoin, same thing, 995. How does phase three help phase one? I think we've answered that a couple times and more answers are coming. What will the price of Iscandercoin launch at? And we don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but we will go live on Bitmart very shortly um, after the launch, or we'll go live on Bitmart on April 29th. What will the price? Okay. How does Texan and miners benefit from downtown dollars? Well, that's an easy one. Downtown digital dollars requires participants to buy TXC off the open market. Now they don't know it. It's kind of a, back end process for them, but they have to pay to use the network. And as they buy TXC, that creates demand on the market for TXC and will have a huge impact on the price. What's the minimum buy-in after 2-3? I think the minimum buy-in is 1 after February 3rd for Iskander. Guys, I want all of you there, whether you use dollars or you use TEXITcoin, whether you buy a 1 or a 5 or a 9 or a 27 or an 81. I want us all to win everywhere. As we kind of ramp up, as we engage this project and get it going, we'll have, a couple little increments there. But I want everyone on board. Will you get away from built for Texans? Well, you got to remember, Iscandercoin is going to have a whole different theme, a whole different story, and it's going to market itself to a whole different community. TEXITcoin is for Texans by Texans, but now, as we've seen, that message of peace and prosperity is spreading all over the country. We're having cities reach out to us from all over the country. Pierre, if you want to jump in, we just had a call earlier today with a solution provider for the hardware that we're rolling out and says, hey, we have colleges and universities that really want to talk to you guys about this thing because they can benefit from this program as well. Yes, they can. Let's go. Les says, do you have exchanges set up to trade Iskander? Yeah, we'll be on Bitmart. Will you be able to buy the coin on open market? Only if the miners are selling. You got to remember, it's no pre-mine. So if the miners don't want to sell the coin, it won't have a market. This is going to be a little bit different than TEXITcoin. because I tell people there was no pre-mine. That's a programmatic thing. But I started mining TEXITcoin myself on January 26th. We went live on our first exchange around May 15th. And then like early June when that kind of didn't work. And so that's a lot of mining before the coin actually had an opportunity to make it to market. It will be similar with Iskander, but we're going to try to go live on the market as soon after launch as possible. We want to have a marketable coin from day one. When will Victoria and the other two mine sites come online? Great question, Michael, and thanks for the accountability. Right now, we're finishing collecting quotes for the replacement transformer. We have a company that's willing to actually trade us transformers, but we have to get a site permission from Victoria Electric to actually do the install. And so it's going to be a little while for Victoria. Now, I'm not sure what you mean about two other mine sites. We got one other one that's waiting for the building in McKinney to get finished. And then we've got four more that are on the way, should be landing sometime in the next week or two. And we're scouting properties right now for homes for those four. So it's going to be a couple months before we see another big jump in mining output. But it is in progress right now. Are you using TEXITcoin or MineTXT resources to launch the Iskander project? No. Iscander's got its own money, it's got its own budget. Hey, Bobby, did you say the comp plan may go away after this week, or are you looking at another change? And just need to understand that a little bit better. We're making the last two changes to the comp plan. They go into effect this week. We will monitor it for a couple weeks after this. Remember, we got a lot of other stuff that we're doing that we expect is going to have a great and positive impact on our sales. But as you guys have seen, we've been consistently stepping down every week, consistently going down. To where? To 0, to 1, to 7. If no one's able to sell this thing, which I understand it's really hard with the price down, it's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult. I don't want you guys banging your head against the wall trying to do this. It might be a great time to take a break and sell Iskander. Why? Because it's a new project with a blank slate, no commission potential issues. Everyone starts at 0. Let's go. You might have the opportunity to introduce two different projects to your community. If someone 10 deep in my TEXITcoin organization joins Iskander immediately, how long do the 9 people in between us have to join to maintain their rank above that person? That's a really great question. I don't know the answer to the question, Brad, but it's not going to be too long. I think we'll give people a couple weeks, maybe we'll give them a month till like March 3rd. And by that time, Tim, write that down, by the way. We need to figure that out and decide on exactly what kind of time we want for people to get organized and get on board. What do you think?
Got it. We were, I mean, we had talked originally maybe 60 days, but that was just at the first thought. So we didn't put in anything in stone yet.
Yeah. Look, guys, it's really important for us to respect the organizations and teams that have built themselves, that have manifested inside of TEXITcoin. But again, it's something where not everyone's going to join, and so there's going to be a little bit of reshuffling. But we will give you a couple. We'll give you a couple names. Craig says, "Are those properties owned by TXE or are they in another name? If so, who owns them?" Craig, are we talking about the properties listed on the page that I just showed you? All the details are there. If you need to go and dig, go ahead and dig. Um, Check it out. All the deeds and all that stuff, all public record. What was that website that had the investments? I'm not sure which investments you're talking about, RD. Stephanie says, are the two coins totally separate? Totally separate. If so, will TXE continue to grow or will attention be shifted away from TXE to grow the new coin? That's a good question. Let me answer it by saying this. We got phase 1, we got phase 2, we got phase 3. I'm working today on phase 2. My main priority and focus right now is phase 2. I spend plenty of time helping with phase 1. I'm spending plenty of time helping with phase 3. But my priority, my focus, my main source of enjoyment, my skill set is really in phase 2. I've got a whole office full of people that run phase 1. They do a great job. And as they get better and better, more experienced, they need me less and less. So I'm able to focus more on phase 2. So my heart, my home is phase 2. We've got a whole separate team that's going to be working to run phase 3, but excuse me, I got my burp water here. But again, we will use some resources from TXC team to help with phase 3. We have the ability to partition those things off of the TXC budget. And so if they're working exclusively or majoritarily for phase three for Iskander, we just take those guys off that payroll and shift them over to the other one. It's its own money. RD Mill is back to say these properties are owned by Bobby and his wife. RD, are you a miner? Are you getting graduated today? Is today graduation? Yes, they are all owned by me and my wife. Robert says, have you thought about treating commission paid mines to be like 1-2 free? Those points don't roll up. This will make it a true payout for new miners only coming in that will build the community, hopefully keep us under the 50%. Look, we got a little bit of an issue, Robert, because when we offer you your rapid rewards commission, we say, would you like hash power? Would you like cash? Or would you like TXC? You have those options. Now, if you take the hash power, we treat that like new money in because you could have taken the cash and spun around 3 times in a millisecond and given the cash back to us. We count that as a sale. I wrestled with that for a long time. Is that new money? Well, it's kind of money that we should have paid out in commission, but they chose to put it back in. So it counts as a new sale. It puts new points on the board. When you start off the new week, we jump out right away. I think this week was something like $120,000 in sales. That's commission getting paid out as hash power that we're counting as a sale. And so there's kind of a leftover every week that continues to put new points into the system. And yeah, you're right. It's a big majority of the commission that's paid out. It's not all of it, but it's a big chunk. And so we would have to fundamentally change the way we think about that. And, I don't like the idea of changing it because I think that it would be incorrect. So if we made it different and didn't award points, it would cut out a lot of commission, but people are using money that they've earned to buy that hash power. I got an amazing alternative in addition to both TEXITcoin and now Iscandercoin to bring up increased value. Albert, reach out to somebody and let's find out what that is. Can we consolidate, transfer a mine? Sister wants me to take over hers, but I want 2 different mines to manage. Yeah, you can merge them, no problem. Just reach out to enrollment, customer service. How does the Iscandercoin benefit a TEXITcoin holder? It doesn't. You got to remember that it's the network that's benefiting through cross mining. The coins are independent though. How do I get the CRM? Tony, once all of the TEXIT Rangers have their CRMs rolled out, we will introduce it to everyone else, probably in order of hash power. And then that way we'll take everybody that wants a CRM through the onboarding process. And that way it's really, really a great, powerful tool for you to help build your community. Did we renew airport ads when they expired? No, we did not. We're off on the airports right now. Can we have the website for the new blockchain that will go live 2/3? Yes, it's iscandercoin.com and all the same stuff there. Explorer.iscandercoin.com, et cetera, coming soon. I'm in the negative and Shay receive payment. Shall I receive when I get further negative into more? I don't know. How do I continue to get negative cash potential? Why do I continue? Well, probably because you're getting hash power rewards each week, unqualified hash rewards. As I live in the UK and Scotland, I want to get one of the coins, but the only way I seem to be able to get one is on eBay, but I don't know. You don't want to buy a coin off eBay. We don't ship internationally right now. We're in Berlin. If you want to stop by the booth and grab a coin, I think we've got like 5 here. Jennifer was going to bring them, and her flight was canceled. Yeah, we're not shipping stuff internationally right now. It's a mess, but maybe we will someday when the new store goes live. What does phase three have to do with TXC? It sounds like a new coin, a new project, a new startup. It is, it is, it is. I don't understand how one would support the other through cross mining. We'll have more documents on that and probably some new videos as well that explain cross mining. It's just like merge mining, except at no cost. Stephanie says, when will we be able to buy the new coin on DexTrade? We will be live on DexTrade probably shortly after Bitmart. Will TexItcoin ever be offered publicly? So if so, will miners be given a chance to buy before the IPO? No, but we are talking about Downtown Digital's going public. What will the initial value be? When will the initial value of Iskander be? We don't know yet. ISK is the initials for Iskander. Will DDD be offered publicly by a different company? Yes, it'll be Downtown Digital LLC. When is the next installment of mining computers being brought online? And that's another thing about that Downtown, well, the regulation. Downtown Digital is a totally different company. It's going completely by the book. It's doing everything exactly the right way. Some people. When is the next installment of mining computers being brought online? Well, we are waiting for the new transformer for Victoria. That's going to be a couple months. We're waiting for the next 4 containers. That's going to be a couple months. We're waiting for the building to go up in McKinney. That could be 6, 8 weeks, 2 months. I have $26,000 invested. I have currently 3,000 bleeding and a truck wrapped. I'm not sure what bleeding means. I'm dying here. I'm pushing the coin, make zero commissions. Thanks, Daniel. I need to get truck wrap paid for to start. Please send a message to Paige for me. I think she's waiting on me. I just got to double check who's on the list to get paid. I have a sponsor that is no longer into any of this. Help me. I am into all of this, and I believe. Help me get the truck wrap paid. Daniel, send a message to Rob or somebody, and I can see if I can get it paid out tonight. Junior says, also, if we buy the new Founders Club, do those coins go to our TXT wallets? No, you'll have a whole new wallet. You'll have an Iskander wallet, and we'll probably have Iskander coins as well. In fact, I'm sure we will. Question, based on the website and reports, when looking at it by month, it shows our comp plan is healthy, or is there a difference we are not seeing from week to month reporting? Yeah, change it to the weekly reporting, and then you'll see, last week was 66%, too high. How does TEXIT Miner benefit? Okay, seeing too many, how we'll have a lot more documents for you guys so you understand exactly what cross mining is and why it's important for reliability. Becky says, I am in the negative, and when I receive payment, I get further into the negative. I'm getting paid hash. Why do I continue to get negative cash potential? It went from 18 to -9 because every week, if you're getting $3,000 of hash power because of your team, it'll continue to go down. We stopped paying out hash power bonuses to people that were in, I think, Rocketeers and boosters. But if you're in Founders Club or in early adopters or in launchies, I think you still get it. Just how it works. It's not bad. You're getting hash power. For application and game developers, will there be API hooks to sell digital assets through the TEXITcoin network? Yes, there will be. It's not through TEXITcoin, but you can definitely, deal with that through like DexTrade. When somebody buys TEXITcoin through our back office, we place that order through DexTrade. So you'd have to look more probably into API hooks with the markets than with our network. Doesn't really have much to do with us. I sponsor 3 miners on my right side in November and December. If I sponsor 3 on my left side now, will I earn the commission or do they lose the 3 sponsored people on my right side because they didn't flush? I have zero support from Upline. Tyson, that sucks. Reach out to enrollment to get a specific answer on that question because I'd have to look at it and my brain is only working at like 4% right now. Does one person with 3 seats count or 3 separate with at least 1 seat each? You need 3 individuals. And remember, the hope is that like you bring on those individuals, they get to mining, and then you help them find their 3 people. That's the whole reason that we have the focus on, individuals and not just one guy that buys a whole bunch of mining power. How did Iskander push Florida out of the way for next step? Well, Florida is still on the radar, but we got to diversify into a different continent. If TEXITcoin comp plan can continue, won't the MLMers and producers jump to Iskander, effectively stalling the TEXITcoin mine building? How do we promote 2 coins? Well, yeah, I think the MLM guys will go over to Iskander because they're going to be able to do more and earn more over there. But once the price of TEXITcoin rebounds, we're going to see a whole new renewed interest in TEXITcoin mining as well. Again, maybe not from the people that we initially want, but the goal is to build the network. That's where we have to focus. Can you clarify what you said about signing up for Iskander before someone else does, not get you in the front of them? We're going to hold placement for a couple weeks. I think the answer is going to be 30 days. Do we have any towns that signed up yet to the digital dollars, or is it still in the works? I'm not talking about that anymore. How much is the lowest for the founders? 27,000. But again, after February 3rd, we get the mine going and everything's working, we'll have the ability to jump in with less. And remember, you can use TXC, though I don't recommend it right now. Requiring Iscandercoin buyers to first purchase TEXITcoin sounds like a great strategy. You're creating a funnel, which is hugely successful. Thanks, Felicia. It's more about comfortability, as like, what's the comp plan? I don't know. I can't tell you. What are the requirements? I don't know. We haven't figured it out yet. Okay, well, let's assume that stuff is going to come together soon. If I go back to our existing community and I say, look, you're kind of familiar with who we are, what we're doing, you know the basics already. Come on, let's do this other thing. It's a different conversation than going out to somebody brand new. So I like the idea of offering this first to TEXITcoin miners because they'll be able to help educate the new people that are coming on. First Iskander's the goal, 1,000,000 miners. It's 1,000,000 seats. It definitely won't be 1,000,000 miners, especially because we have people with the ability to put in 243,000. Where can I apply for a job in Dubai for Iscandercoin? Excellent question. Part of my goal next week is to open our office and get that going. Do you already have wallets for Iskander? No, but we will in a couple days. Just giving my 2 cents worth again. Thanks, Kelly. Here we go. Call me crazy, but I cannot see the current not an MLM comp plan with TXC continue, even if the changes move the needle below 50% payout when there is a new comp plan that maxes out at 27K per week on one tracking center. I'm not sure if I'm understanding what you're saying there. Call me, I cannot see the current not an MLM comp plan with TXC continue. Well, remember, this is not TEXITcoin. This is a different thing. Has there been consideration to include both TXC mining seats and Iskander mining seats within the Iskander network marketing comp plan? I haven't thought about that yet. We were thinking make it a requirement to go that way, but maybe we make it a requirement to go the other way as well. Example, packages that include both TXC mining seats and Iskander mining seats. It's a great idea. Will we have a wallet? Yes, we will soon. Bryce, hi Bobby. Recently, I've had several potential sponsorships that, while doing their research, have come back and asked about the claims made by TEXIT Raider on YouTube and unpaid commissions. Totally false. Not in any way true. About being banned from the Rapid Rewards with no explanation. Well, I wouldn't say no explanation on that one, but he was banned from Rapid Rewards. We've got probably, I don't know, how many people have been banned from Rapid Rewards at this point? How many have been banned? Where is my Rapid
We have
Rewards?
a few.
What are we up to? 100? 50? 30? Hold on.
Did you also want to
31.
share with everybody on
31. That's
social
it.
media that we hired some people and that should be going out pretty good soon. So
What was that again? We hired people
for
for social
social
media?
media, we hired a new group of people that are going to help with social media. So we're going to have a lot of the good stuff that's out there. So instead of people just reading all the negative stuff, they're going to see what our community is actually doing. So,
Yeah, and that's positive. Look, there's no way to outpost the trolls, man. There's a
right.
zillion trolls and fake people. There's 58,000 of us. The math's not in our favor. But I think that, look, one of my oldest lines is you can never be wrong when you do the right thing. We have to keep going and do the right thing, even if no one's looking, even if no one's watching, even if no one's trolling us. That's hard. Doing the wrong thing is easy. Lots of people do the wrong thing. We have to be the guys that do the right thing. Will it ultimately end up, making us rich? Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think so. Have people done very well already? Sure, of course they have. People have bought houses, paid off cars, paid off credit card debts, put on additions. We hear those stories all the time, but we'll never be able to convince everyone on planet Earth that we're legit. It just won't happen. And it's not important. We'll be successful with it or without it. Bryce, back to you and your question about our man, Texas Raider. I'm not going to get into details publicly. Um, there's plenty out there. I would just say I hope that you would think that I would use great care and consideration before graduating somebody. Look, participating in the Rapid Rewards program, it's not like a right, it's a privilege, and it is changing over time at my discretion. If it no longer serves the goals of the community, it has to be discontinued. If someone's participation no longer serves the goals of the community and becomes negative, it's going to get, graduated. It's going to be banned. So, that's just what we have to do as leaders. David says, it sounds like you don't recruit people to mine for you. Then are you out? Is that a correct statement? No, it's not correct at all. I signed up for it to use as payment system for digital assets for my studio. Perfect. No, what we're talking about is the rapid reward. We're not even talking about the 1, 2 free. You can do 1, 2 free as often or not as you like. We're talking about the rapid rewards commission comp plan. Any word as to when miners might see CRM and new website. New website, we're a day or two away. I know I've said that forever. I just showed you what I got, um, and we're really close. Michael says, will there be a monthly recurring payment for the new Iscandercoin since it will be a fully functional network marketing platform? Um, I think the answer to that question is yes, but I think it's going to be based on tools. We're rolling out the CRM right now through TEXITcoin for free. I think people pay $1 a month for it, which is the minimum that we're able to do. Like we can't charge you less than $1 or we would. So I think we're going to have a lot of tools and a lot of resources there that you'll have the option of paying for monthly. But it also might not be the case because we're not particularly interested in getting credit card processing, which is kind of required in order to do a monthly recurring charge. Um, And we will have many, many more requirements there to stay active. But I don't know if an auto ship type program is one of them. Hang tight, details coming soon. I don't mind coming over from Scotland to Berlin. Harry, I think we've got 5 coins here. Jennifer was supposed to bring 5 boxes. I think we got 5 coins. If you need me to earmark one of them with your name on it, stop by and I'll do it. Thanks, Bobby. Can't wait for the IPO for DDD. Yeah, look, it's a really important thing, guys. We're trying to create economic wealth and prosperity, and it's hard work. And when we go through, the digital channels with crypto, it introduces us to one type of audience. When we have an opportunity to take it public through traditional markets, through, other types of entities, it opens it up to a whole bunch of new people. I don't know if you remember the days of IPOs, of the internet.com boom, 1997, 1998, 1999. I mean, people were getting rich off of IPOs. You get in on the right IPO at the right time, and it changes your family's outlook. Those days are gone. I went to a symposium put on by the Texas Stock Exchange, and they were talking about how, small cap companies used to go public to raise capital. Now, large cap companies are going public just for a cash grab. The needle doesn't really move. But if you can get in an IPO for a small company and help its success, then that's a really big opportunity that people, would love to have more opportunities to look at. Is Iskander a reference to Star Blazers, which is the savior planet from the 1977 anime? No, it's not. It is the Persian name for Alexander the Great. Um, so the US regulators, great question. We were thinking originally about making it the same reciprocal 10%. But again, we're trying not to put too many limitations on our growth. That was a big thing that we struggled with. You know, um, we want to remove as many of the roadblocks and hurdles as we can so that the second one can grow big and fast, maybe even faster than the first one. If we hit our 100 million mega hash in Iskander, that's going to support the TEXITcoin network. It's going to help all of the rising ships and tides. We will figure that out as we go. Will Iskander mining TXC affect the final mining rate guesstimate? No. It will have zero impact whatsoever. Zero cost to TEXITcoin miners. And TEXITcoin miners, look, there's one other thing, and this is the last question. If we discontinue the TEXITcoin mining, comp plan, it means that we slow down our dilution rate. If we never sell out all 100 million mega hash, we don't go down to that 0.095 number. We might get stuck at, zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.4 coins a day. We have those seats and we want to sell them. We want to build a network, but we have to do it profitably. And so we might have to go back to the drawing board for TEXITcoin as we shift into second gear and figure out exactly what the right plan is that'll take us there. We might have the right plan now. We'll see what the community decides. This is our project, guys. We're in this thing together. I'm the guy that gets to make some decisions. I got a great team of people that I rely on to help us, carry out and execute. And now that's improving with Iskander as well. More opportunity, more leadership, more great ideas, and something that's, not pretending to be one thing or another. It is what it is. And some of you will love it, and some of you will despise it and not get involved. And that's all good either way, because like I've said before, I am already confident about our project, our goals, our mission, and our high likelihood of success. Let me keep doing my job, and you guys go out there and enjoy your jobs as well. That's it for the questions. Thank you so much to the 542 people that are still here and tuned in. Welcome to the days of phase 3. We call it Iscandercoin. It's just getting started, guys. Check it out if you like. Join me if you like. No obligation whatsoever. But let's keep building our network and climbing our way up the charts to the top of the crypto industry where we belong. I'm Bobby Gray. Thanks so much, Robbie Rue, Mitchell, Gage. Anything else to add before we say goodnight?
Well, just go get some sleep, buddy.
It's
Always iron sharpens iron.
Great call.
couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Keep holding down the fort. Enjoy your icy weather there in Dallas. Good night, everyone.